Weird side hustle, number 9. You can make $50 an hour being someone's friend. Head over to rentafriend.com, and because of the pandemic, you can do this over FaceTime, Zoom, texting, even pen pals. If you want to learn how to make a full-time income working part-time, check out the link in my profile.
Yeah, you can also get kidnapped. This is an outstanding way to become a very sudden and very unwilling organ donor. But as I looked more into these weird TikTok side hustles, I realized that a lot of creators are touting this one specifically as the way to go.
How to start making $1,000 per week. And this is how it works. You're gonna go to this website called rentafriend.com where people will pay you to be their friend, whether it can be for a day, an hour, or 30 minutes. Let me show you how to make the $1,000 a week. Everyone's schedule is different, so do this based around your personal schedule. But let me just give you guys a simple explanation to how to turn this into a $1,000 a week side hustle. An example, set your rate at $30 an hour. Get 5 bookings each day for 7 days straight. At the end of that week, you'll earn $1,050 to yourself just from being someone's friend.
This is such a terrible and extraordinarily sketchy idea. Also, that $1,000 a week, it's not removing things like taxes, and presumably rentafriend.com takes some kind of a fee. And also, it's not taking into account the fact that this is how horror movies start. Meeting up with a stranger on the internet who wants a friend. That is a recipe for disaster. I sincerely hope people are not actually doing this. I wanted to do something a little different today, so I thought we should look at weird TikTok side hustles. If you watch this channel, you're probably interested in business and finance, and everyone knows about like lawn care, drop shipping, etc., etc. So I wanted to find the strangest, most niche things that could count as side hustles.
Did you know you can hire a professional mourner to cry at your funeral? That's right. If you're worried that nobody will show up to your funeral, a professional mourner, also known as a mourologist, can
There's no way that it's actually called a mourologist. This does not need an O-L-O-G-Y type suffix at the end. That is for science. This is kind of feeling like a glorified grift.
come to put on a show. This profession dates back as early as ancient Egypt, and it's still common in today's world. Professional mourners are people who are paid to go to funerals. They don't know the person who has died, but it's their job to feel sad, or at least look sad, no matter who the person was. They are common in India, China, Kenya, and even in some states in the US. One funeral home in particular that
I have always thought about the fact that if I was going to hire someone to show up at my funeral, it would just be a bunch of like random people off Craigslist to dress up in suits and ties, all black, pull up in a black SUV, stand there somberly for a few minutes, get back in the SUV and leave. No talking to anybody, no nothing. Just show up, be mysterious, and leave. I think that would be a great prank.
that offers this service is Golden Gate Funeral Home in Dallas, Texas. They were featured in a TLC show several years ago, and today they still offer this service. In fact, their general price list is available on their website, and as you can see, a professional mourner starts at $250 per person. They will also have an open call edition and search for the best professional mourners in their area, and they offer a boot camp style training to teach aspiring professional mourners how to professionally mourn.
I feel like $250 is not bad for a weekend gig where you show up to a funeral, which, you know, probably has like snacks and stuff. You show up and are sad for a little bit. I mean, you know, do that for a day. Funerals aren't very long, right? Like 3 or 4 hours, $250. That's like $50 an hour. I mean, that doesn't seem so bad. Weekend gig, that's your groceries for like the week, maybe 2 weeks. And you do butterfly taxidermy as your side hustle, and you love convex glass and Edwardian vibes. See, this is a good one. It doesn't look super complicated, but it's really pretty and it's unique. And frankly, it's not something that I had heard of before. So this is the perfect weird side hustle. It's a little strange, a little unconventional, but like, I mean, that looks pretty good. The butterfly, that's a nice butterfly. I wouldn't mind having something like that in my house. I started making butterfly art less than a year ago. Today, I'm selling my bugs in store. Oh, so this is like the other one. Dang, those are really nice, actually. This is the kind of thing that I feel like would be in my grandmother's house. Like, it's pretty, the vibes are good. It's kind of got that flowery, colorful, carefree vibe about it. This is a good one. If you have the ability to taxidermy bugs, I assume you can buy some like bugs offline and then taxidermy them yourself and put them inside these cases. I can see this being, you know, flippable for a good amount of money on Etsy.
Come with me to make $370 with 2 focus groups. The first focus group is a mock trial, and they usually hold these mock trials in person, and usually they're in hotel rooms. This one was in the Marriott Hotel. Pretty nice hotel, honestly. No complaints here. This is me walking up to the front desk where I will check in. This is where you'll sign your NDA forms, non-disclosure agreements, because these cases are real cases that you're listening to. and so they want to make sure that everything is confidential. I wish I could share this case with y'all because it was super interesting.
So they're walking into a hotel to do a mock trial, but they're giving them real cases. I guess that's so the lawyers can make sure that they have like an argument that is believable to a real jury by having a fake jury tell them what they think of their arguments and whether or not they'd be persuaded, which makes sense because like a lot is on the line here, right? Like judgments could be millions of dollars in punitive or tort damages, or someone could be going to jail for life. Like, you know, the stakes are high. So I guess it does make sense that they would pay people to do this, but it's really funny to note that real jurors are paid less than these mock fake jurors. He's making $300 off this, and real ones make like a few dollars a day or something.
They had a light breakfast for us, and honestly, I've seen better breakfasts. This one was like
better
maybe
breakfast.
4 out of 10.
Look at that.
Honest.
They got
definitely
croissants,
redeemed
milk,
themselves with
yogurt,
lunch, which I'll show you
fruit.
in a bit. This is the room
That's a
that we
good
were
breakfast.
in,
Coffee?
and this is where we listened to the
That's a
presentations
good
from the
breakfast.
lawyers. This is the lunch that I was talking about. It was like a taco stand kind of thing. They had chicken, fish, meat. The meat was really good. Here is my plate. I went back for seconds because of course I did.
That looks amazing.
Then we went back into the room and we heard some more presentations from the lawyers. After their presentations, we started deliberating and giving our opinion on the case. The mock trial paid $300, and then I started doing my beverage study, which paid $70 in the hotel lobby.
I wish we had heard more about the beverage study because I'd be curious about what that is too. Because if you could be doing like double dipping on your studies, one is a mock trial, one is a beverage study. I mean, that's pretty good money. $370 for one day is not bad. And realistically, look how good this food is. I would do it just for the food. Like that looks delicious right there. You get to do something interesting, have a good story for your friends, make a few $100, and also get what looks to be outstanding meals. This one could be worth looking into. I do wonder if he says anything more about that. Okay, behind the scenes of the legal focus group. In these groups, you're basically just a mock juror and you're giving your opinion on real legal cases before they go to trial. Okay, so it is the attorneys making sure that their evidence might hold up in court. Attorneys hold these mock trials to make sure they have strong evidence in their cases before going to court and incurring court fees. There it is. In this particular case, it was a super juicy one. And if it wasn't for the NDA signed, I would totally tell you all about it. But I'm bound by that for life, so you'll just have to trust me. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to have a mock trial and then have it get out and potentially impact real jurors who like form an opinion about what happened before the trial even starts. So that totally makes sense. The second group I was in had an online beverage study, but I did it in the hotel lobby because right after the mock trial was over and I couldn't get home in time. I assume it says that he did it in the lobby, so he was either tasting a beverage that they had sent him, or maybe he was like looking at packaging and saying which one he would be most likely to buy.
Come with me and earn $300 for the day with the mock jury duty study. Mock jury duty is where people get recruited to spend time learning about a real life case and giving their opinions. I spent a day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. doing this while getting fed breakfast and lunch and having a couple breaks here and there. Real attorneys show a real case to you, so it's important that everything is completely confidential. It was fun deliberating this case and hearing various sides. And at the end of the day, I was off with $300. I love doing side hustles like these because I can meet new people, get fed, and learn about how the legal system works. If you like making money in fun ways like I do, follow for more.
So this is like a real thing that people actually make money doing as a weekend gig. $300 for a weekend, especially if you could like probably realistically you could be doing other stuff. Like if you have a job and you have your laptop there, you're taking notes and working on other things on the sideline. But like as far as having an interesting story, some free food, doing something unique that probably none of your friends have done, and also getting paid for it on top of that, this is a good gig.
How much money I'm going to make this month just by doing research studies. So I'm currently doing 3 right now, and I just got done with 1. So in total, I am doing 4. The first one, I am doing a diaper study for 10 days, and that is going to be for $200.
I'm going to tell myself she's a mother and the diapers are for her children.
And that is with Rickner Studies. The next one is a deodorant study that I started today. It's going to be for 1 week for $75, and it is with Opinions Ltd. The next one, I just got qualified today. It is a enchilada sauce study. So I'm going to be trying a new enchilada sauce. I'm going to be trying that for 1 day. I'm probably just going to do a survey about it. It's going to be for $20 something. And that is with Sago.
$20 isn't bad.
I just finished one yesterday.
For like how
that
short
is
that would
for
be?
flushable wipes. I tried that for 1 week, and I got paid $85. I already got paid, so that one was really quick. And that one was with Reckner.
This seems really good because like companies obviously want people to come and test their products before they go to market. Because if you go to market and nobody buys it, then you lose millions of dollars in like research costs, development costs, and then all the many, many employee costs that go into actually like creating a product. So it makes sense that companies would want like these focus groups with people experimenting with the product and trying it out before it ever hits the shelf. A few $100s for like a large group of 100 or so people to test something out when millions of dollars are on the line absolutely makes sense. I think she says the ones she's doing here are all online ones, but I assume if you live in like a big city, Los Angeles, Austin, Texas, then you might be able to find ones in person because there'd be a lot more companies that are located in those places. Drive to their headquarters, do a study group. You know, it's a decent side gig. And again, pretty easy to do while you're doing other stuff. Because if it's an online one like deodorant, I mean, you put on deodorant every day, so you get paid $75 for nothing changing.
First of all, I am not telling you guys to commit fraud. Stop tagging the IRS in my original video. I'm just providing information. What you do with it,
There's a backstory
what you
here.
will. I also don't know as much about this as other people do, I'm sure. So if you have any other resources, feel free to drop them in the comments, please. For people, I'm just going to share what I did. If you Google class action lawsuit, one of the first websites that will come up is topclassactions.com. I use this pretty well laid out website. I'm not going to like break down how to use it, but they have a fairly updated listing of class actions, and you can scroll through, see what you might qualify for. From this listing, lead you to the class action website or Google form type of place where you can file your claim. A lot of people are asking, do you need receipts? It depends on the class action. Do you need evidence? Depends on the class action. Like I said, not encouraging you to lie.
Yeah, obviously don't lie, but I do note that this does work. Companies get sued and fined all of the time by consumers or government organizations, especially if you live in the European Union. And so often as a result of those lawsuits, they have to pay out people that they have wronged. And I've actually gotten payouts from TikTok and Meta, or Facebook at the time that it was the payout. I mean, it wasn't much. It was like $75 or $100 total, but like that was free money that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So I do know that this can be legitimate.
This is another website I've used, openclassactions.com. Website is not as intuitive as the other one and kind of has scammy vibes. Once you click on a class action page you want to know more about, you got to scroll all the way to the bottom where they will have a link to the like actual website where you need to put your information into. Obviously be aware, guys. Don't just like drop your address into a shady website.
Yeah, if you're doing this, you have to be careful. Both times that I took payouts through TikTok and then Facebook, I just gave them my Venmo and they sent the money to the Venmo and I took it out of the Venmo into my bank account because I didn't want to give them my direct banking information because, I mean, what if it was a scam and they just drain my bank account? The Venmo, they can't take money out of. They could just put money into it. And so I was sure to have gotten that. But I know that this specifically has to have so many scams attached to it. Every website is going to be like, oh, just sign up here, input your banking information. We'll definitely send you money from payouts. So just be really careful here.
Okay, so I just got back from a 12-hour shift for valet. I just wanted to get a little insight on how much we're doing in tips. So for 12 hours, it was only busy for like 2 hours throughout the whole day, but then a lot of sitting around. It was horrible. But cash-wise, we brought in, it's pretty good today, $110. Definitely will take that. That's an amazing job. And then we do
110 isn't terrible, except that he was there for 12 hours. He made 110, so he's making like 9 something an hour. If he had only been there for the 2 hours that it was really busy, obviously that's great. 2 hours of work, $110, you know, $55 an hour, absolutely. But I can see for like a weekend thing, you could do it. If you can work at like a high-end restaurant with a bar, and then you just work like Friday or Saturday night when it's like really busy, then you can make a good amount of money with this. Basically, anything you can do as a service to rich people who are fine giving out huge tips because money means nothing to them, that's something you should definitely try and do. And if you want to do this, you could probably find a local restaurant in your area that's really fancy and doesn't have a valet service, and then offer to just valet for tips and say, you don't have to pay me, so you get a free valet, and I just take all the tips. So it's a win-win situation. You could probably make some money doing this. Tell me your most insane side hustles. I need some money. Let's see what these comments have to say. Lottery tickets, they're dirt cheap and you can get millions from them. Yeah, don't play the lottery thinking you're going to make any money off of that. There's a guy at work set up a Grindr account with some fake pictures, gets dudes to send him money, quote, for gas to meet up, and then ghosts them after they've sent. I think we all think he's a closeted zesty. I mean, obviously don't do this because that's a scam, that's illegal, you could get in trouble. But it's also really funny that someone managed to figure this out, that like guys will send you money. Street pharmacist, good Lord. Don't have kids? Yep, absolutely. Literally buy anything, clean it up, and post it with a better description. I think you could probably do this. I know a lot of people go like drive around rich neighborhoods and see what's been left out on the street, take it, a little bit of polish, a little bit of varnish, goes a long way, maybe a little bit of paint if you need it, and then you can flip it for a pretty good profit, actually. I'm up $40,000 rug pulling meme coins in 2 days, and all my friends bailed on me. As they should. I think this is a real one. I go to retirement homes on the weekend and pick up old folks and take them around town for a few hours. They usually tip $50 to $100, and I make about $2,000 in a weekend. Obviously, it's a TikTok comment, so it might not be real, but you can imagine that that could be a real thing. People at nursing homes, they want to get out and about, and if their family aren't coming by regularly to do that, well, then they don't ever get to leave. And the nursing home staff, they get to let the people go off and have a good day. So everybody wins. You get a little bit of money. You probably have a good time. Old people, it can be fun to be around. The old people have a great time, and the nursing home doesn't have to worry about people for a few hours. So, I mean, there could be something in that.
This is the weirdest side hustle I've ever seen. Or maybe it's the shittest. But you can make $180,000 a year doing it. A company called Human Microbiome wants to buy your poop. That stool can be used for research or a procedure called FMT, a fecal microbiota transplant, where they put your poo in someone else to save their life. Let's play hide and seek. So if you want to become a stool donor, you can just go to humanmicrobes.org, and if you get selected, you get paid $500 per stool donation. And if you're having a BM every day, that's $180,000 a year.
So I was curious about this. I looked around it online because frankly, this seems way too good to be true. But it does look like this is actually legitimate. People on the internet in general, Reddit, other forums have discussed that they or people they know have actually done this. And there are physical donation sites that you can go to in big cities in order to participate. The catch is you have to be in essentially top tier physical health. So you have to have good gut biome and also be in really good physical condition. And in some cases, you also have to live near a donation center. So this could work. This could be a real side hustle, but I imagine it's only realistic for a very niche group of people that have great health. Essentially, anything can be a side hustle if you just think of something that other people don't want to deal with, but they have to anyway, and then realize that there are people with enough money that they're willing to pay to not have to deal with that thing. And to that end, this girl came up with a really interesting way to make a little bit of extra money on the side.
People are claiming that women are not good parallel parkers, but I'm incredible.
A few weeks ago, 29-year-old Sydney Charlotte made a career change.
I put good juju out there that there's a parking spot.
And it's taking over the New York City parking system by storm.
If you live in New York City and need to move your car for street sweeping,
it started with this TikTok video, immediately picking up hundreds of thousands of views.
I'll sit in your car for a fraction of the price of a parking ticket.
As she presented herself as a professional car sitter for hire. One commenter writing, "This is the ultimate side hustle."
This is such a good idea. She's identified a very niche, very specific need, but the one that people had. Everyone in New York needs to move their car for street sweeping because otherwise you get fined probably hundreds of dollars. It's very expensive. You might even get towed, and that's a huge pain. So for, $25, $50, whatever she's charging, she can sit in their car for them, and then they don't have to worry about that. I mean, that's a great service. Everyone comes out happy with that.
He moves them from one side of the street to the other so you don't get a ticket.
Of course, there is a Seinfeld episode with a similar concept, but George Costanza did not have the benefit of social media.
I printed out flyers to hand them out to people, but I haven't even needed to do that.
In reality, Sydney moved here from the West Coast a few months after being laid off from her job and picked up on this sort of loophole herself. Now, all throughout the week, New Yorkers are paying Sydney to move their cars and sit in them during allotted street sweeping hours. And in her experience, police officers do not write you a ticket if you're present.
What do you say to the cop? You just smile and wave?
Yeah, he just smiles. He sometimes doesn't even look at you. This morning I was like, good morning. He's like, good morning.
From there, Sydney will just sit in a stranger's car for hours. I thought that sounded boring at first, but then I remembered young millennials have a trick for quietly passing time, even with company.
Never mind.
Speaking of company, less than a month in, Sydney already wants to expand the business.
Oh, too small.
It's crazy there's enough demand for her to want to expand it, which I guess makes sense because if you have a car in New York City, then someone else dealing with all of the issues that come with the car and parking and street cleaning and avoiding tickets, etc. Maybe it is worth it, but it's crazy that there are that many people that need this.
Hire more folks to join her army of professional Big Apple automobile occupiers. And so far,
I have more people sending me their resumes and asking if they can work for me than I almost do customers.
And guys, for folks who do not have someone like Sydney,
I wish she would say how many customers she had. Like, how much are you making? How much are you charging? How many people per day do you do this for? But the fact that she just sits in the car for a few hours waiting for the street sweeper to come by, you have to imagine that you could also have another job doing that. Because if you work remotely, You sit in a car, you work on your laptop, street sweeper comes by, you move back. You've made 2 monies for 1 time of money. I mean, like, that's a great deal. So remember, to never run out of side hustle ideas, think of something you have to do but don't want to do. Look around for rich people that are willing to pay you to do that, and then collect money. Thanks for watching.